talk about the important aspects of it because I mean we want to touch on the quarterbacks. We want to touch on the quarterbacks.
Of course, of course.
So our first round quarterbacks. Let's go through them.
Okay.
Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jayden Daniels, JJ McCarthy, Bo Nix. You know what? Whenever I think about Bo Nix, I always think about Bo Vice.
Bo Vice.
Yeah, it's
Who's that?
Bo Vice. It's a long story.
Well, you're missing one guy, and I hate the team he plays for.
Hold on, wait. Oh, Michael Penix Jr.
Big Penix energy. That's Desmond Howard thing. Sorry.
That Desmond didn't think about that with me.
But I'm going to put the scores on the bottom here of every game. That is all 16 preseason games that was played from the span of Thursday to maybe Monday. I think we had 2 games yesterday. We did, I think. And that is all the scores if you want to go look at them. Nate is about to break down some of the rookie quarterbacks. I want to talk about one in particular and be very specific on it. And I think you know who I'm talking about, Nate. So go ahead, Nate. Tell me what you think about the first. We can go through the way they were drafted. We can just go through who's on your mind. Just let us know. You tell us what you're thinking. This is your note segment.
JJ McCarthy, he looked good. He looked pretty good. Bo Nix looked amazing. Now Jayden Daniels, I was so impressed with him because even though he didn't make many throws, like he looked really, really good in the pocket. I mean, again, Caleb Williams has looked good. Again, you're not expecting to see these guys to go out there and just light it up because this is a preseason. You just want to see how they look, get them some game reps, get them some game reps and whatnot, some live reps at that and whatnot, so they can go ahead and get a feel for the offensive line, their receivers and their skill position players and so forth. The preseason, there's not an actual game plan. These guys are actually just out there competing. This is training camp, so they're out there just, they're not the first 10 plays are scripted, and after that, you just going off round, you know what I'm saying? You're running the same plays over and over. But I must commend these quarterbacks. They look amazing. Very, very, very. Let me take that back. I think we have to take into consideration the play calls and whatnot for the respective offensive coordinators, not putting their players or not putting these guys in difficult situations. Just want to get them to get a rhythm and get a flow of the game early. So you got to love that.
I mean, I didn't watch all of them, of course, because you can't watch all preseason games at one time. But I do want to pick at one in particular. Like I said before, I was a big Jayden Daniels guy coming out of college. Unfortunately, he played for LSU. Unfortunately, But I was a big Jayden Daniels. I mean, I loved the way he played. And I was looking at it. I was reading it. People were saying they were marking all the best rookie performances of each quarterback. And they had Jayden Daniels at the bottom. And I would scratch my head. I said, why is Jayden Daniels at the bottom? First of all, he went 2 for 3. He had a rushing touchdown in the drive, and I'm about to show you that in just a second. I have it pulled, which is why it took me a second to kind of start the stream because I was pulling it because I forgot. Sorry. Apologies. But he looked phenomenal. I mean, and I'm not just trying to glaze him or hype him up or something because he was going out of college. He had the most efficient drive of any of those quarterbacks. They had a really good run drive as well. They just had a really good offensive drive to start off strong versus the Jets. Unfortunately, they lost. I think it was like 20-17. Yes, it was 2017 Jets. But I'm going to pull this. I want you to break down this play for me, what you see happening, what you love about it. And to me, Jayden Daniels, he's best looking. I just like him. And I'm going to continue to like him. Watch this.
Let me see this. Let's go start from the beginning. Let's start from the beginning and let it play.
You want to look at the you want to look at the defense for you want to do something
right now. I want to look at all of it because it looks like it's a zero pressure or it's man concept on the defense and because they're playing empty and whatnot. And again, let's go and let this play.
No.
I love this throw because you know what? Let me tell you something. One of the things that I remember back when I was playing, even in college, the quarterbacks would always play this game. It was goal line fade game where they would put the trash can at the corner of the end zone, and they would try to throw the ball inside of the trash can. This ball is amazing. Great placement. I mean, you as a corner, you can't do anything about that. But I mean, you look at the coverage. The coverage is spectacular. Um, but this is great ball placement. And one of the things, let's go back. Let's go back to the beginning of the play. Let's look at his mechanics. To be honest with you, let's go and let that play. He looks off the safety. Now that's the main important thing right there is to look off the safety. To look off the safety and then to go ahead and come backside and go ahead and put that ball in a place where nobody can get it but the receiver. Now again, I know a lot of people are not going to put a lot into this because it's the preseason. This is the preseason and whatnot. But this right here, this is a throw that a veteran quarterback makes. You know, this is a throw that and it has great touch. It's great. It's great. Height on the ball. You know, it's great.
I mean, he looks so comfortable. Is it just me, or does he look so comfortable in that pocket? Like he's been there before. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like he has been there before.
Oh yes.
And I want to point out that throw is not easy to make. And on 3rd and 6, you have a rookie quarterback, Nate. That offensive play chart, if I'm not mistaken, is going to read stuff like screens. You know, you're going to have short passes. You're going to have bubbles and screens on that 3rd and 6th play. There is nothing on there that says, Jayden Daniels, we want you to throw down the field.
Well, let's go. Let the play go right now because I want to see the route combinations. Because to be honest with you, if we can, is there a different angle? Is there a different camera from the backside?
That's all I got. That's all
I want to say his first initial read, to be honest with you, is that number 3. I think that's that tight end. That's in the center. That's his number. That's his read right there. That's who he's looking at right then and there. That's the look the quarterback are. His reads are because it's 3rd and 6. His reads are as 2 inside guys. That's first 2. And one of the things I learned from Joe Lombardi, who was our offensive coordinator in Detroit, about the quarterback position, is that the quarterback's first progression changes based on what the defense, whether it's single high or if it's 2 high, it changes drastically because your first read sometimes can be on the outside receivers X or Z. But if it's a 2 high, you never know. Your first read might be your 2 insides, whether it's your tight end or your slot. So it changes. You know, you got to think quickly. But I really love the fact that how he's in the pocket, he's poised, he's actually looking at his first progression, which that gets the safety to move there, that allows him to go ahead and throw that nice little strike to the receiver at the top.
Well, look at his head. You're right. His first read is, okay, I need to throw it to my tight end right there to get the first down. Look at his head. His head is towards the tight end. His eyes are not looking down the field at all to make this 42-yard pass. But as he steps up in the pocket, his eyes begin to change to the right there, and he throws a perfect bucket pass right in the hands that you're not going to see many rookie quarterbacks make.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to me, he had one of the most efficient drives that of any rookie quarterback, because I don't care what people are saying, he's at the bottom. You didn't see much of him to put him above like Bo Nix or whatever. Those guys threw 50%. They went like 7 for 13 and stuff. So
Bo Nix went 15 for 21 for 125 yards, touchdown, 3 rushes for 17 yards. He had a 102.3 passer rating. Let's go. Who else? JJ McCarthy, he did really good. He actually went 11 for 17 for 188 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, a 116 passer rating. Then Jayden Daniels. I'm trying to see Drake May.
Drake May, that wasn't the guy you were talking about on that game. Joe Milton was the guy you were talking about game. He was the man. And but again, you're not going to play. This is why Jayden Daniels only got 1 drive. You're not going to play your starting quarterback. See, Drake May, Jayden Daniels, these are your starting quarterbacks. They're not going to play a whole game. They wanted to get a taste of what their starter is to come. They weren't going to start Jayden Daniels or Drake May for a long period of time. But look, after this pass, look what else Jayden Daniels can do. He throws another pass. He went 2 for 3. He does this little read. Boom, reads it, and takes it to the house. It's going to do another angle right here. He reads, boom, takes it straight to the house. And although that dude got a really bad angle on him, that number 23 right there, got a really, really bad angle on him right here when he ran into the defender. It's Jayden Daniels season to me, Nate, because he looked real good. I actually picked Jayden Daniels as my backup quarterback in fantasy this year. So I'm kind of trying to hype him up, see what he can do. But I just don't like the narrative that Jayden Daniels was the worst performing rookie QB. Stat-wise, probably. He only threw 2 passes, had a rushing touchdown. Stat-wise, maybe. But efficiency-wise, he probably was the best rookie quarterback, in my opinion. He was the most efficient.
Listen, this is not to take anything away from any of the quarterbacks.
No, it's not. It's not. I just didn't like the narrative.
The narrative, I don't like the narrative in itself either, because it's diminishing that his talent. I mean, this guy can play ball. He had he got a grade of an A. For his
preseason
performance. Caleb Williams got a grade A. Jayden Daniels A. JJ McCarthy A. Bo Nix A. Joe Milton got an A-. He actually looked really good. Joe Milton actually looked pretty good.
Yeah, he did.
4 for 6, 55 yards passing, a TD, 5 rushes, 22 yards. He looked good, and as brief as it was, I mean, he looked good in that pocket. He looked promising, again, but we can't put, all our eggs in one basket as far as this is just a preseason. This is getting you a small, not even a sample size. Michael Penix Jr. was decent. He went 9 for 16 for 104 yards. Again, we know he's not going to be starting. But I feel that Michael Penix is in the best position of all the quarterbacks. Because what you want to do is, if you're going to draft a quarterback in the first round, you have the luxury of having him sit behind a veteran. You don't want to rush the process of them growing. You want to let them mature. You want to let them water. You want to plant them and water them. And again, so when it's time to pass the torch to them, that they'll come in and they'll be ready and so forth. You don't want to just automatically give them the keys to the Porsche and tell them, okay, go out there and go do what you got to do. Because again, the NFL curve is a lot different than the college curve, the collegiate curve, excuse me. So you want them to develop, and you want them to develop mentally, the mental aspect of the game, because you got to be able to see things before it happens. You have to, again, I've said this analogy before on a break or on our show, The Breakdown. Like a surgeon has to see before he cuts. A quarterback has to see it before it happens. So, yeah.
I'm so glad you said that, Nate, because I do, especially with how successful the Packers have been with their progression type science when it comes to quarterbacks. I watched the Saints' first preseason game. Of course, I had to watch it. I ended up falling asleep after the second half. And I'm going to tell you, I was tired, and I usually don't fall asleep during football games. But the awful quarterback play I saw between Derek Carr and Jake Haener made me sick to my stomach. It made me so sick because we had our starting quarterback going out there, Derek Carr, who's played football for 14 seasons, might I add. And he looked like he had just stepped in the cleats he wore that day. It looked like he had just stepped on the field for the first time because those passes were awful. And then I was hoping Jake Haener might show me something, and he didn't. But the dude we got for a steal in the 5th round, Spencer Rattler, showed me something that looked so promising that might actually bring the Saints back if he were to progress. I do not want Spencer Rattler starting this season. I don't want to see him start a game because I want him to sit behind that 14-year veteran, learn from the mouth and not the actions. I don't want him to learn from Derek Carr on the field. I want him to learn from Derek Carr's mind. Derek Carr's a smart guy. He's a smart quarterback. He can teach him something. But I don't want to see him look at Derek Carr on the field, especially that preseason game, and say, okay, what can I do? I want him to kind of be like my parents, I want them to show me what not to do instead of what to do. You learn best when you can say, hey, okay, they did this, so now I know that I cannot do that. Derek Carr played boo-boo on the first drive of that Saints preseason game. So as Spencer Rattler, as his 5th-round rookie quarterback coming in, I know what not to do because I saw a dude who has 14 years of experience in the NFL play like absolutely dog water. And I'm going to learn from that. I'm going to progress from that. But I'm going to have a whole season to do that. So when the second year comes around, I'm going to lace up my cleats. I'm going to put on my football helmet. And I'm going to be the second coming of Patrick Mahomes like everybody said I was when I went to college. What you think about that?
Be the best you. Be the best. Just be the best you. And just each week you learn to get better, learning and expecting to get better, look to get better. A lot of people, they say you want to be the next coming to Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady, or no, be the best you, the best version of yourself, and learn. And because every quarterback has had their ups and downs, and you got to be able to weather those storms that are going to be coming your way. So I mean, he's shown promise. He just needs to learn, and that he's in a great position too. He has the luxury of sitting behind a veteran quarterback, and getting those practice reps, those scout team reps are going to be big.
I mean, when you're the number 1 recruit coming into high school, and you are on Heisman watch, and honestly, he did really bad his last year at Oklahoma, really, really bad. And it made people look at him and be like, okay, maybe this isn't the guy we thought we had. Maybe this isn't the guy that we had signed here to be our leader. Well, when you grow up saying, and you get told you got a Netflix documentary about you in high school before you go to college and in college, saying that you're the best player in the entire country, that's going to go to your head. That's going to cause some problems. He's never once been told, you're not good enough. He's always been told, you are the best person on this field. You're the best, you're the best, you're the best. So he never learned humility. And so I feel like when he went to South Carolina, transferred, he learned a little bit of that humility because he was finally told, hey, Spencer, you are not good enough. Look, I've heard Spencer before, and I've heard it in a show called All American. And that Spencer had to learn humility himself. And once he learned humility, guess what? He became an All-American. Well, Spencer Rattler, we're not in All-American anymore. This is NFL, baby. I need you to progress this season and show New Orleans what it means to be Spencer Rattler. You're right. I want him to show us what Spencer Rattler can do. Not the second coming of Patrick Mahomes, not Patrick Mahomes Jr. I want to see what Spencer Rattler can do so New Orleans can go back to being postseason fiends.
But then wait a minute. This is the next thing that we have to discuss. Then suppose a couple years, a good prime quarterback comes available that you can win with. Do you take that chance?
Depends on how old they are. You know how old Drew Brees was when he went to New Orleans? He was at the ripe age of 27. Do you know how long Drew Brees stayed in New Orleans for? From 2006 to 2021. If I get a good ripe age quarterback of 27 again, history is going to repeat itself, and maybe we can get another Drew Brees in New Orleans. I don't want another one. Like you said, we don't want the second version of them. We don't want the Wish, the Walmart. We want the nice brand version of whoever they are. We want a new brand. We don't want the same old brand or the copy of a brand. We want the new brand with new material and new wins.